Everyone, welcome to this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review, where it is time for a Before You Buy episode. What I have here is the MSR Zoic 2-person tent. In this video, I will answer the very important question: how difficult or easy is it to set up this tent? That is vital information that you need before going out and making a purchase decision. With the Zoic 2 from MSR, I expect this to be a very easy setup process. But there's only one way to find out. Come on, everyone. Now, to start off, folks, let's go ahead and separate all of the components. Now, it should be mentioned that you should use a ground sheet with any tent that you purchase. Think of this as protection for your investment. You can buy a ground sheet from MSR if you want to, or you can buy a piece of plastic like this. This is very lightweight and also very inexpensive. This here is the body. This is the fly. Poles, stakes, and you have some seam sealer. To start, go ahead, grab the body and lay it out the way that you would like to have it set up. This tent has 2 doors, so the orientation is very easy. You can decide basically where you want the ends to go and where the doors to go. It can be a little bit tricky sometimes when you have just one door. You really have to think ahead. But with 2 doors, it does negate that somewhat. Now that the body is unfolded, make sure that the doors are zipped up. In warm climates, when bugs are out, you want to make sure that those doors are zipped so that nothing crawls inside. Next up, it is time to move on to the poles. There are 2 poles. There's a main hub, and then there's a top connector pole. Main pole, connector pole. Now, it should be mentioned, folks, if it's windy, go ahead and stake out the body before moving to the poles. If it's not windy, you can move to the poles next. Once the pole is connected, lay it over the top of the body of the tent and go into each of the corners and connect the poles. Once the pole is connected, it's time to move to the body and clip that onto the poles. Once you have the main pole connected, it is time to move to the connector pole. And this is a very simple installation process. So you take the pole and you slide it through, you connect a grommet, and you put this piece of fabric over the top of the pole. Then walk around and connect the other side. That webbing holds the pole in place so it doesn't come loose when you're walking around the tent. Now that you have the poles done, it is time to move on to the fly. Now, since this tent has 2 doors, the placement of the fly doesn't matter as long as you line up the doors. Once you have the fly over the body, go ahead and pull it back, because there are 2 grommets that need to be connected to that top connector pole. Walk around to the other side, connect the grommets, and now you need to go to a corner and start strapping in the fly to the pole. Once you have the Velcro connectors done, it is time to clip the grommets into the pole, stake it out, make your final adjustments, and from there, you are good to go. There you have it. This is the MSR Zoic 2-person tent. The setup process for this is very simple, and it's pretty much in line with most tents. With the majority of tents on the market today, they share in the same design, and there's nothing really new here as far as the setup process goes. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being super complicated and 10 being super easy, I would give this an 8. I would give it higher, but there is one slight, and I do mean slight, little issue. When it comes to the grommets that hold the poles into place in the corners, they're just a little bit big, so the poles can easily come out of those sockets, out of those grommets, if you're not careful. So if you don't keep proper tension on the pole when you're going to the other side and setting it up, they can come loose, and then you have to go back over and redo it. And again, that is a very small con for this tent. All in all, it's an easy setup, everything makes sense. Now, it should be mentioned that the connector pole here at the top is a little bit different. With most tents, that is connected in with the main pole. But with this tent, it is separate. It doesn't connect directly to the main pole, but simply lays on top of the mesh body and goes across the top of it. It's different. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it is different. Before I wrap up this episode, I want to talk about the seam sealing that comes with this tent. This tent features an interesting design, which is proprietary to MSR. This tent features no seam tape at all, but what it features is a proprietary process to MSR, which they refer to as Extreme Shield Waterproof Coating. It's some sort of coating that's put onto the fly here during the manufacturing process that supposedly keeps this tent from leaking. The seam sealant. They give you this so that as you use this tent over time, that coating degrades, you can make repairs. I am no stranger to seam sealing things, but I can tell you all that this brush attachment right here is just about one of the worst things ever created. If you use this with seam sealing in any tent, you will make the biggest mess. I have videos on seam sealing. I do not recommend this. Watch those videos. It will save you a ton of time. Nothing is worse than making a huge mess on a $300-400 tent, right? If you are interested in this tent, stay tuned to the channel because I will have plenty of episodes with this tent. I will have a test night episode. We'll take it out into some serious rain to see how well it performs. Also, I will be taking this out for overnight adventures, and I will have additional content into the future. Make sure to comment down below, what do you all think about the MSR Zoic 2-person tent? If you happen to have this tent, what are your thoughts? What are your experiences with it, good and bad? Here with the channel, I am 100% agenda free. I share my thoughts, my experiences with no agenda behind it. I don't care if you buy this tent. I don't care if you purchase anything that you see me use. That is not the point of the channel. I am here to pass on my thoughts, the pros and cons for every product, and that is it. And with the TOGR community, we are a family. So make sure to share your experiences with this product to help out other viewers as well. More is coming up in regards to this tent, so stay tuned. Everyone take care, strength and honor, sound off in the comments, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, everybody.